Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Nick Underhill from New Orleans.football out here doing God's work, keeping everybody up to speed on what's going on in the offseason for the Saints. And Nick just tweeted a few minutes ago, there has been progress recently in conversations between the Saints and Michael Thomas on a contract extension. That, according to sources, not done yet, but talks are productive. So when Michael Thomas restructured his contract several months ago, the assumption in my hands in the air, I think we all knew this, that Michael Thomas's time in New Orleans was done. And certainly there was no chance he was ever going to play it down for the Saints under that contract, because they were never, when the way they restructured it, there was no way they were going to pay him the massive roster bonus they would owe a week from Friday, a week from tomorrow, when that would be realized. So the time is ticking now, because that roster bonus is going to be due next Friday. So they're going to cut Michael Thomas. He will never play under that contract. But if they can work out a new deal for him under a completely different contract, such that he never hits free agency, then you do return a veteran receiver. Now, we can go round and round and round as to whether or not that's the right decision to make. And if and or when that happens, and it looks like it's on its way, Nick Underhill reporting that talks have been productive, we can discuss the merits of that. A player that, when he has been healthy, has been as good a receiver as the Saints have ever had. I would argue Michael Thomas, as peak Michael Thomas as he was in 2018, or that run in 16, 17, 18, is the best receiver in New Orleans Saints history. But we just haven't seen it enough. The last 3 years, he's just been perpetually injured. God bless him. He tried to play through the injury in 2020. We know what happened, where he missed all of 2021, appeared healthy, came back last year, and just couldn't stay healthy. Now you have a guy nearing 30 years old. I guess with Michael Thomas, my thought would be I would love to see him back in New Orleans under the right circumstance. Certainly the contract that he had is not the right circumstance. But if you have the opportunity to bring Michael Thomas back on a one-year deal, an incentive-laden deal, whereby if he's productive, he will be compensated as such, great. I'm all for that. What you can't do is commit a lot of money to a player nearing 30 years old who has not played for 3 years with any assumption that he's going to be able to stay healthy, because he has not proven that over the last 3 years. And so it's this very weird feeling that you have this player who is revered for a lot of reasons, because when he was right, he was so incredible. He's just had a lot of injury misfortune here over the past 3 years. And it has cost him his prime and cost him a Hall of Fame trajectory and all of those things. But what a great redemption story it would be if Michael Thomas could get healthy, could come back and be a productive receiver for the Saints again. And the Saints do need to address receiver. I mean, it's unlikely Jarvis Landry is back. Not impossible, but unlikely. And so if you're looking at the Saints, you know you've got Chris Olave as your number one. And I was asked the question yesterday by someone, do you see Olave as a true number one? And I think that question is a little misguided, because a true number one can look a lot of different ways. I mean, Jamar Chase is the number one, and Cooper Kupp is the number one, and their physical skill sets are very different. Justin Jefferson is a true number one. I just look at Jefferson and Thielen on the same team and how different their skill sets are, but both are amazingly productive receivers. So, do I think that Chris Olave can be a leading receiver, be the Saints' number one? Yes, I do. And I like Rashid Shaheed, but a small sample size, and how does he build on the success he's had? After that, you got a lot of question marks. I mean, do you want Marquez Callaway to be your number three? Is it Michael Thomas, who's not been able to stay healthy, or do you go address that in the draft or free agency? That's a lot of questions that need to be asked, but the Saints undeniably have got to address receiver this offseason because you've got to build some depth and some talent in that spot. The other report from Nick Underhill here just a bit ago, so it's been a busy day there. Nick also tweeted just a bit ago, the Saints have been granted a 7th-round compensatory pick, which is pick 257. Now, he did not designate for which player the Saints have been awarded, or the circumstance under which the Saints have been awarded that pick. But the Saints have been awarded a 7th-round compensatory pick, so they'll add to their draft haul. And speaking of the draft haul, we know the positions seemingly that the Saints are going to have to address in this draft. We've continued to talk about them. I think receiver is one of them. I think they're going to have to draft a receiver. Running back. Running back is a must. Last year, I would have loved for the Saints to address running back because so much of our conversation in the offseason was aging Mark Ingram, Kamara likely to miss 6 games. You need to start grooming the next guy. Well, Ingram's hurt by the end of the season. You know what happened. You had Eno Benjamin and David Johnson taking meaningful carries. And Kamara now, it looks like, will serve that suspension at some point this season, and you don't have any other options. So they're going to have to address running back very likely early in this draft. And thankfully, it's a very deep running back draft class. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.